I know. I got to speak on it, but Jay, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it was the source material is corny. Hot take. Because think about it. Think about it. What is Luffy always saying? I'm going to be king of the pirates. How do you say that and make that? How you say that with swag?
Welcome to Saturday FM.
Hey guys, this is White Manga here, and welcoming you guys back to the second episode of this new era of Saturday FM with all of my buddies. Everybody wave. Everybody wave. Woo. Have a blast. So I'm the creator of Apple Black, publishes Realize on Saturday AM. A couple volumes out. We have books out, merch out. Please go check that. That will all be linked in the description as well. Support the apparel, support everybody's books here, and some of the authors and editors and creators. They're all here with me on the podcast, and they can talk about what they do as well. But that's me. Jay, take it away.
Hello, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jay Odin. I am the creator of Hammer. I also have a couple books out. Me and White also, we're going to have our Volume 4s come out in November, so keep that in mind. I have a YouTube channel where I'm just drawing. I don't do a lot on it, but I would love your support. So definitely come and subscribe there. But yeah, that's what I do. I guess Raymond, you're next.
I'm Raymond, the creator of Saturday AM series Bullet Eater. I'm also a co-founder of My Footprint Entertainment, or Saturday AM, as you guys know it. I do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. I don't have a book right now. Oh, actually, I'm lying. I do have a book coming out. It's going to be Saturday AM Annual. I have a short story featured in there, along with a ton of other great creators as well. So that'll be coming out soon. But yeah, check it out.
You got to tag somebody now, Raymond. That's how we're doing it now. This is, we're building culture here.
Hashtagging? Huh?
You got to tag? No. Is it who's next?
I'll tell you I'm old without telling you I'm old. Send a hashtag.
Yeah, no. Just, you know what, Austin? Just go. Oh, Raymond's
Thanks, yeah. I love it. Hi, I'm Austin Harvey Eunice. I'm editor and story writer for Saturday AM. I've been here for a few years now, and I've helped pretty much everybody here with something in regards to their stories, so... Christina, it's up to you now.
Oh, now it's me.
Yeah,
This is actually like school. You have to go around and everyone introduce yourself. But yeah, I'm Christina. I'm the creator of Grimheim, which is published in Saturday Brunch. Dark medieval fantasy story. I hopefully have a book out soon, but I don't know how much I can really talk about this, so I better not. But yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I have some thoughts about that, but we can take a deep dive into that. Maybe separately, maybe not here, but I have some pleasant ideas and stuff like that. But outside of that, this is Saturday FM, and thanks for everybody showing up. Hope you guys enjoyed the previous episode. We'll try to be popping these out more often. For now, we'll get at least one a month, and then we'll just kind of keep building from there on out. And if you guys like it, you're going to get more episodes. That's kind of how this works. And then we have our list of things that we're going to talk about. We'll talk about all things geek, whatever we want to, whatever we feel is necessary. We'll just have fun with you guys, and that's the whole point of this, just to engage with the community as we go in more and more. And everybody have their chance to spit game, get canceled, and all that kind of stuff. I know Raymond is ready.
I got some hot takes, buddy.
First, I would like everyone's thoughts on just anime live action stuff in general. Like, what do you think has been the most successful, and why are they known to fail? I have no idea. I think everybody was too hard on Cowboy Bebop. I think everybody was too hard on Death Note, especially after Airbender happened.
That
or
was
Dragon
so
Ball
abysmal,
happened, or you name it happened. I think people were too hard on certain series, and then they've just gotten a bad rap. Some of them deserved. Maybe Ghost in the Shell had issues, but there were a lot of good things here and there, kind of, in certain places, and everybody just pooped all over the whole thing, But what do you guys think has been without talking about One Piece yet, what do you think has been the best adaptation to date?
So I'll start because I haven't actually watched a lot of live action for good reason. But I think one that actually did not leave a bad taste in my mouth and I thought was well done was Alita Battle Angel, which I think a lot of people kind of forget about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the movie was not bad, especially considering it was a anime and manga adaptation. I don't know. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen it. I've
I've seen-
You're right. Nobody talks about that.
I've seen clips. It does look. It looks really good. I should probably watch it all.
Yeah. They try to do the big eye thing with it too.
Yeah.
Which they didn't need to. They didn't need to do
No.
that.
It was kind of like a mixture between like 3D and real life, right? Like they just had
Yeah.
some type of okay.
It's like
Gotcha.
that was unnecessary, but sure, you guys can have it. What about you, Raymond? Christina?
Well, the Battle of Lita, that one was kind of. I mean, I want to say a lot of people didn't even know that was an anime. Like as far as like movie goer. So, but one that that definitely did a good job for me. That was pretty true. Was Ruroini Kenshin. All three of those movies were great.
Yeah,
Every
I
one
think
of
so
them.
too. I think
The casting was perfect. The action was really good. I mean, it was.
I like the
kiss.
first one. I haven't seen the other.
Yeah, they're all just as good.
You know, there is a show that I watched a long time ago called Liar Game, and that was based off of a manga, and it was like no fantasy anything. So like in my opinion, I think that one was probably like one of the best adaptations because it was just such a like easy one-to-one type of story translation. But Rurouni Kenshin, yeah, definitely probably is better than that because I just had action and swords.
Anybody see the Japanese Death Note ones?
No.
Actually, no.
Nah, I couldn't. That was nah. No, I'm not
They
gonna
were-
do that. I'm not gonna do that to Death Note.
I
I'm
don't,
not
I
gonna
don't
do
think
that.
they were terrible, but it was literally the same thing with the anime. Like they didn't change.
No.
They barely changed anything.
And that's
It
the
was
problem, man. Like that's the problem. Like anime doesn't translate. Some parts of anime don't translate well to live action at all. Like the slow motion fall, that looks so crazy. In real life, man.
Yeah.
Even though I think it depends on the anime, I think I watched Attack on Titan, the live action or live movies, whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they were okay. And I think Attack on Titan has a lot of potential to be good in real life because the characters look pretty normal, like real
Yeah.
human beings. You can have European actors, American
Yeah.
actors, and this would work fine. And the Titans are not totally crazy, like they're just naked humans, gigantic
Yeah.
naked humans,
Yeah.
who maybe smile a bit weird. But I remember how everyone was like really, really frustrated with this movie because it didn't follow the anime plot at all. It introduced
Oh, really?
new characters. Yeah, it like everything was completely changed. They didn't even have Levi, who's like the fan favorite. Everyone wants Levi,
Yeah.
except for me. I don't care about Levi.
I'm always curious how somebody in the studio is like, yeah, let's leave out that popular character. We don't want.
It's a missed opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But they had a replacement for him, and he had kind of something going on with Mikasa. It was all pretty weird.
What?
And but yeah,
Then it was all Japanese cast, right?
yeah, with German names. So that that was pretty cool, I guess. And everyone had black hair, obviously, and everyone was like, okay. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I know. Full Metal had that issue as well.
Yeah,
I
that
haven't
one
watched
was.
that one though.
I hear terrible things.
It was
I kind of got a question.
As we do.
It might be jumping ahead a little bit, but what do you guys think with like the success of One Piece that this might be a trend? They actually might do more of them and get more of them right.
No.
Okay.
I think One Piece is just a little bit special because of one, the fan base that has been growing over the last 1,000 episodes and chapters. Like, there's such a loyal fan base that no matter what, there's gonna be a decent amount of people that are gonna watch it. But also, I mean, obviously, I like the story, but I also think that they just spent so much money on just trying to make it, trying to break the curse, so that way they could, say, hey, we finally did it. So, but I mean, I don't know, like, to me, One Piece was more of like, it was a mixture between Power Rangers and Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it was cool, but it had that feeling of like, this is corny, but I can't turn it off.
Right.
And everybody here has seen One Piece, right?
I've seen the first
To
episode.
some degree.
Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say, you know, to answer your another reason why I think One Piece is an anomaly is that, especially if you've seen, has anybody seen the Netflix One Piece?
Yes.
Everybody fully?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that's what you meant.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because another thing was One Piece is one of the few series where you can get away with casting anybody. You can, from any country, almost any country. There's certain series where if they try to adapt Bleach, it'll just be weird to have a whole cast of people with samurai swords, but they're not all Japanese,
Didn't they adapt Bleach?
and they were all Japanese.
Yeah, true, they did.
You know what I mean?
There's not as much diversity.
Yeah, One Piece,
Yeah.
they can like, oh yeah, he's from South Africa, Brazil,
Yeah.
England, Germany. You can do all of that. One Piece is also a series where you're going in knowing that anything goes. Yeah, fish homies listening to hip hop, it works. This guy looks like he came straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean, but this guy looks like he came out of fucking Back to the Future, rocking Baby Gap and just walking around with sneakers, and it works. No one's gonna question anything. You can't do that with what other series can you do that with? You know how many people were like, that dude looks like I just saw him at the mall, but he's like right there with ships and stuff. So I think One Piece is unique in that sense, and so you can get away with with almost anything, and you'll be fine.
It's funny that you mentioned Bleach though, because like Bleach is one of those series that I feel like a lot of the cast is obviously not Japanese. Like you look at Chad right away, and he is.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Chad
especially
is
Soul
not.
Society.
Yeah.
Well, some characters.
It branches out when you get to
characters,
Soul Society. They kind of like anything goes. I mean, you literally got a Fox dude.
Yeah. Sometimes, right? But there's certain characters they can't be anything but Japanese.
This is true. Yeah.
If you
it's
tried
like
anything else, it won't work.
it's like I mean, I know that there are black people in Japan, but I feel like it's like that ratio. Like, you know, there's like, I don't know, for every one black person there's like 100 Japanese.
Yeah, so it's like,
probably
I can see them like there's the Tozen character, for instance, they'll cast a black person. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's like for the way One Piece is, and it's marketed very globally, it's not like the Japanese, it's not like a Japanese Death Note where it's like it's mostly for Japan. One Piece was very global. You can't do anything global with Naruto or Bleach, or it's not gonna like.
Well, I mean, Naruto, I think you probably could, because, you know, there's the Thunder Village.
Yeah.
You know,
So
like,
you want to wait like 6 seasons?
like they would have to change it immediately. I agree. But I mean, not only that, but also Naruto. I mean, you know, he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little kid.
German.
So I mean, you know,
He's German.
I mean, they would just put a wig on a Japanese person like they did
Oh,
for
God.
Edward Elric.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, still like.
No, Christina said he might as well be German at this point. But the problem,
I don't know. I'll say this though. Like, I feel like there's like a clear line between like Western live action adaptations and you know, the Japanese ones. And I ain't gonna lie, man. Western they you know, Western storytelling does a really good job of like, you know, trimming the fat off of stuff. So they probably could get away with it. You know, I mean, look at One Piece. I mean, they put Jay. You can talk to it probably more than anybody, but man, what they stuffed in probably about a good.
It's like 100 chapters.
Yeah. It was like
Yeah, it's
100.
like
they sped run that thing, man. It was like quick.
yeah, Jay's the
8
official
episodes.
One Piece spokesperson. Anything
I'm
One Piece.
the One Piece
Yes.
liaison.
Yeah.
At
Yes.
Saturday.
But I can't. The way the internet will burn and be on fire, and when they cast a white blonde hair, blue eyed Naruto Uzumaki. No,
It would be
no.
hilarious.
You get away with that. You get away. Let me put it like this: you're more likely to get away with that with One Piece than anything else, or a series like One Piece. I don't know if Fairy Tail is kind of like One Piece, but it's kind of like that. But just generally speaking, you know, kind of circled back to One Piece. For those who saw it, how do you guys view the what would be your rating for the show? And is it the best one?
So I guess I'll go first. I would say
Set the
I
bar,
would say
Jay. Set the bar.
I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5. I do think that it is a very good adaptation. Like I said earlier, it's it's corny because it reminds me of like Power Rangers meets Pirates of the Caribbean. It has a good feeling of like, hey, I could watch this with a family or some kids and stuff. But like at the same time, there's that edge of danger that's like like maybe I shouldn't. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I mean I like it, but it wasn't the very best adaptation. I think Ruroini Kenshin probably still holds that title, but it was definitely a really good one. It was a really good one.
What would you change?
Take away Garp. That entire storyline was, especially how it ended too. It was just like, wow. I mean, it wasn't for everybody that doesn't know One Piece. I think that it was good enough for it to, be a pretty interesting story. But I think that if you are a hardcore fan, you're just gonna like see every inconsistency and think to yourself, why? But I think for everybody else, even not knowing who Garp is and all of that, it was still like kind of strange to like see the things that he did and like his justifications for things. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Like that would be my only major criticism.
yeah, it was very anime.
Yes.
I gotta speak on it, but Jay, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it was the source material is corny. Hot take. Because think about it. What is Luffy always saying? I'm
Where's
gonna
the
be
line?
king of the pirates. How do you say that and make that? How you say that with swag?
No, exactly, and that's my point. It was a very corny type of show. Like, I mean, in the very beginning, he's talking to a bird, and he says mutiny. So, like, it's a very corny, I think, on purpose. But my point is that seeing Garp, an old man that's supposed to be like just a badass, like have a tantrum, is like a very jarring. You're just like, why are you breaking up your entire?
Wasn't I the complaints I've heard of Garp is obviously they changed the source material a little bit, right?
Yep.
He was still dope.
And maybe the ending, especially when it's different when you're seeing real people. It's harder to get away with stuff with real people, right? But at the end of the day, it's still got that One Piece energy. And so with Garp being a quote unquote badass, but he was kind of goofy, isn't that how he is in the anime?
No. In the anime, what? He is like, no, listen. In the anime, or manga more specifically, I feel like he's a lot more, like, he doesn't just have tantrums. Like, there's a point in this show where he, like destroys his entire office because, like, Mihawk tells him no. And, like, he's like a literal kid, and I'm like, that's not what Garp would do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, Garp is, like, kind of like just an older Luffy, more mature.
Exactly.
But with that said, like, I don't know. Like, I can understand that, for live action, somebody was like, look, you see this kid in Naki? You see how corny he is? I want you to do the same thing, but as a mature person. Like, I can see that would be his direction. And he was like, you know what? Sure, let's have a tantrum. But, like, I don't... To me, like, that was the most jarring part. Like, so I don't know. I think if it wasn't Smoker, if it wasn't Garp, but it was Smoker or somebody else, like they might do in like the next seasons, then it probably will be a little bit better.
Okay. What about you, Christina?
So I'm not a big One Piece fan. Yeah, I don't know what I would change. I guess don't have that much knowledge about One Piece, but I would maybe give it a 6 or 7 out of 10 based on my little knowledge of One Piece. I agree, it was corny. It was a bit cheesy. I had a problem with the camera because sometimes the camera was like up in the characters' faces so much that like these gigantic close-ups, and I was like, okay, what's happening?
We had a lot of those.
That was really weird, yeah.
And I remember I kind of cringed at the scene where Nami, when she was like getting she was stabbing herself, I guess, or something, because she wanted to get the tattoo off.
Yeah.
And that was a big moment. I get this. This was a big moment for her. That was great in the anime because I guess Luffy put on his hat or something, and then he said, "Yeah, I'm going to help you." And at first, it seemed to me that he was just putting it on her, and he's like, "Okay, I got you. I'm going to help you." And then, end of the scene, then he was suddenly like screaming, and I guess in the anime,
In
the anime, it was
the
great.
exact thing I was thinking about.
In the anime, it was so great, and in the live action, it just looked so misplaced and cheesy. And then Nami was like, but like it was in slow motion. It looked so goofy. And so yeah, I'm so sorry, Nami fans. I like Nami, but
What Raymond said is true. Like it is corny.
It happened it happened just like that in the anime though. I mean the manga.
Yes,
Like,
it did.
so
It did.
you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh,
It
they
was
didn't
better
follow
in
the
the anime.
manga, but then when they do, you be like, oh, it was corny. It was in the manga.
It was better in the anime though. I think with this one, I forgot what Luffy said. What he yelled it, right? It was short. It was simpler. It was a lot more precise.
I think he said, "Of course," in the anime. I don't know the Japanese term. But yeah, he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
that in the live action though, and in the German one it was even worse because apparently we even use even more words than English people. It was like a force-on sentence, and I was like, "Damn, okay."
He kept
The
yelling
voice
it.
actors were great. The
Yeah,
voice
he kept
actors were
yelling
really
it and yelling it, I was like, "Dude, you're supposed to be cool. This is like the one time that you're cool." Golly. But you know, I
But Luffy
agree
was
with that.
great. Like as an actor, I
Yeah.
liked him.
The
So Oda
casting,
did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah. Any? Do you have any thoughts, Christina, on? So the casting overall, you were fine with.
Yeah. I heard the arguments about Nami. I don't know how it was in the English-speaking Twitter, but the German-speaking Twitter, they all kind of complained about Nami's body, quite literally in her
Body?
breast size, that she's not as busty as Nami. And I was like, okay,
No,
well,
if-
that's some sexism for me, but yeah.
If any woman had the measurements of Nami, like not only would her back break, but also she would have like I don't know if her back didn't break, she would have back problems for sure. Like there's
What
no
you mean?
way.
There's a woman like that. Y'all hadn't seen Barbie, that Barbie lady.
Margot Robbie.
Like, yeah, no. She calls herself Barbie. I mean, she's she's surgically modified her body
I know you're
to have
talking
like a waist like that big.
Oh.
Yeah, she looks very creepy. If I
And,
find
yeah,
pictures,
it's
I'll show y'all
creepy
one of these days. But she looks extremely creepy.
They could use her for like a slasher flick.
Yeah, she even like did some kind of thing to make her eyes bigger. It's so
Oh
bizarre,
god.
It's very
so
strange.
weird.
What about you, Austin? What's your give your juice?
I'm actually surprised because I kind of give One Piece. I've only seen like the first episode and like some clips on YouTube, but like I'm already giving it like an 8 because like I don't know, maybe I feel like Jay would have been giving it higher, but
It's a fun show. It's a fun
I'm
show.
like that.
like it's a solid thing, but like I really can't think of too much to improve on it, considering it's like obviously like the corny stuff could be delivered better and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like it feels like very solid, like very good. And I often think about like, okay, so what is a live action meant to do? Because it's obviously like I don't think any live action is ever going to supersede a good adaptation in terms of the manga or the anime. Like heck, Berserk can't get an anime right. I don't think it's ever gonna adapt its manga better than what it already has. So like, what can we do in terms of One Piece or other animes to make this a good adaptation? It's not going to be better than the anime. It's not going to be better than the manga. I mean, sometimes maybe one will be, but I think what this live adaptation does for people is actually helps people who don't want to get into the anime or the manga and read 1,000 chapters, watch 1,000 episodes, and actually, okay, like the meme is like One Piece is never ending. Okay, I can at least start the One Piece live action and see what everybody's talking about. You know, it's for the people that, it's not for the manga watchers, it's not for the anime watchers, it's actually for the people that like feels too daunting
The
for them
normies.
to get. Yeah, exactly.
No.
To get into One Piece so that it's a good entryway for them.
Because I think I do think it's for everybody. Make no mistake, they want everybody to watch it. But I agree with that. It's much more digestible. It still gets some of the key things, the energy of it right. I think Mihawk was great. You know, people. I think Shank's hat was a little too small, but Shank was fine. But overall, you know, you're right in the sense that it's easy for people to digest One Piece and get into it and still get that same vibe, you know. And so I'm with it. So Raymond, all right, get canceled.
So I agree with Austin in that I would give it like I would give it a 9.
Okay.
I disagree with that the anime, you know, can't supersede the manga, or the live action can't supersede the anime. The live action, that thing was great. I mean, I went. Matter of fact, so this is what I did when I watched it. I was so impressed with the live action. I went and forced myself to get into the manga, and I'm still trying. And it's just not as good to me. It's just not as good. I mean, the characters in the show are like so well written. They get along well. You know, the chemistry's there. They have backstories you can get behind. There's no like weird like you know, Sanji thirst trapping and like squirting blood out of his nose. All that crazy stuff is gone. So like that stuff like with the manga, I can't get with any of that. I'm sorry. It's just kind of it's too much for me. But the live action was really good. Like I wish that. Like, I'll be the person that would follow the live action every season, but not know what's going on in the manga. That would be me. So,
I feel like for Raymond, One Piece, the manga is like at a 10, and like the live action was just down to like a 6. Then he was like, that's what I need.
probably the opposite. Oh gosh, yeah. Man. I mean, I really am trying to get to the manga. Like I picked up where I left off, I think, and gosh, man,
it's. From somebody that loves One Piece, it's really slow up until Arlong, and then it's slow again until like after Crocodile, or up to that point, basically.
Oh, I
after
did the
that
time
is when
skip.
you start.
I did. I just went ahead and skipped the time skip. That's where I started. Like chapter 5 or something.
Damn.
Huh? Yeah, I just started there because I mean I get the gist of the first part. You know, I get the gist of it. You know everything that happened with Ace and all that stuff. But
You missed Water 7 though.
There's so much. You need to know Water 7.
Yeah, see, I missed all that. Yeah, I didn't see any of that.
Frankie is the goat.
Wait, without spoiling anything, what arc is it? The Triller Bark arc, where is that the one with Zoro at the end?
Yes, it is.
So Raymond, you missed that?
Yes, you did.
No, I saw that somehow. Don't ask me how. I saw you talking about when he took Luffy's pain.
Yeah.
That was deep. No, so there was some standout moments for me.
Okay.
That part when Luffy and Usopp fought, that was really cool.
Okay.
I do know about Frankie. I've seen him, and those are pretty much the standouts for me. Everything else that happened after that was kind of like, okay, that might have happened, but okay, cool, good.
Okay.
Good for you.
Now, before you get us canceled, let's we've done enough nice One Piece stuff. So the next talk is to kind of briefly do a little breakdown of Saturday Con and what's happening with that. And obviously, it's this year will be a great opportunity for you guys to come meet all of us in person. At least all of us that are going to be there. Some, unfortunately, there might be some issues, but we're all going to try to be there. And this will be a great opportunity to do that and come have fun as well. If you do not care about all of us, which I understand. I mean, look at Austin. Come on. So if you
Perfect execution.
They been watching the video. I don't know what they're looking at. They've been with us about 30 minutes.
So it'll be a great opportunity to come have fun. We'll have some panels. Jay will be doing some art stuff, I imagine. There'll be a lot of cool shirts. Check out the books, answer your questions. And there's a lot more about the con because it's within NC Comic Con. And there are ways for you guys to get tickets, VIP tickets, where you get a more in-depth, more engaged look on the whole convention. And more opportunities, and all the details, everything necessary will be linked in the description, or you can just find it at our website, Saturday-am.com. Raymond, you have any other stuff you want to say about the Saturday Con? Get these.
I'm just so excited to be able to meet everybody. Meet everybody that we've been working with over the years, like Austin and Christina, and I believe who else is coming? I believe
I think Fred Tornager, is she still
Fred
coming?
Torrance
She
is
is.
coming.
Yeah.
Jackie,
Yeah, she's coming through.
Mitch.
Jackie's coming.
Oscar.
Oscar.
Oscar Fong,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
I think Morgan.
At
yeah,
Mitch.
so I
Yeah,
mean, just to connect there, but then also for any fans that's in the area as well too. Every time we do these conventions, we're always surprised of Fred's. I mean, I am, but I'm always it always blows my mind how many people travel to be there. They come. We may be in North Carolina. We have a bunch of fans here in North Carolina, of course, but there'll be people coming in from New York and California sometimes just to come see us. So, so I'm ready to meet the fans again and hang out and you know. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Austin, you got anything?
Finally good to see you all in person, and I can definitely pile drive people into the ground on site. It's going to be great. I just can't wait to.
Taller.
I'm ready to see y'all. I'm ready to see y'all stand over Fred. Particularly you, Austin. Like,
Yeah, I want to
I'm ready
see
to
who's
see
taller.
everybody tower over Fred and be like, "This the little guy I was afraid of. What in the world?"
I know exactly. As soon as I see Fred, I'm going to give him a nice big hug, and then my hand's slowly going to go up to his head and be like, there.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Jay, you were gonna say something?
I want to see who's taller, you, White, or Austin, because I mean, you guys are both, from what I've heard, Austin. Height wise, I assume you're
See, that's
either the
that's
same
the
height
matchup.
or a little bit higher. One of
That's
the
the
two.
matchup. That's the tail of the tape.
That's what I
you
want
know?
to see. Yeah,
I have nothing to prove, but I am taller, so.
Oh, okay.
but we'll see. In regards,
Y'all talking about like it's something to debate. Well, man, I am taller. No, you ain't. I'm taller. It's math.
it's literally a measurement. Yeah,
I'm just saying it's facts.
It's numbers. Okay. We'll see
man.
about that.
Right.
But yeah, we really hope you guys show up. Like I
Definitely.
said, there'll be a lot of merch stuff, and it's also a milestone type thing for us. We've been at this for multiple years now, pretty much a decade, and I think it's a cool opportunity to celebrate all of that, celebrate it with everybody as well. I think we've not done this in a while, where we got to meet each other. I think the last time, we met David, we met, I met Raymond, and everybody that came out. I think that was that Crunchyroll Expo? One of the cons. I think that one and Anime NYC were able to meet a lot of people. And so this one is going to be bigger, grander, and we have even more to celebrate, given our growth over the past couple of years, with the books and apparel, and Volume 4s will be coming around coming out around that time. So really hope you guys show up and just have fun and hang out. Unless anybody has anything else to add.
There will be posters that I believe a lot of different artists are going to be bringing themselves. But I know for me, I am trying to work on some stuff in regards to the Prison Kingdom, a new arc inside of Hammer, and I can't wait to tell everybody that comes. So please get the VIP package, so that way you get like everything. There's a bunch of posters, you get books, you get shirts, and you also get to hang out with a lot of our artists. So, I mean, definitely get that. But if you just get a normal ticket, that's cool too. You just won't be able to hang out with us, so you're lost.
I think at the end of this, I'll just give we'll have like a little quick rundown, so everybody can kind of briefly talk about what their story is. I don't think we've done that, and just kind of sell it. What's the if you're put on the spot, you're put on Shark Tank. Sell your story real quick. Sell your story real quick. And how much equity you're putting online for freaking Kevin Hart to pay for it. So we'll do that. Y'all can start thinking. Y'all can start thinking right now. We'll put it on the end. Put that at the end so you guys can sell it. I know Austin, you're working on something.
Yeah,
if you want, if you want to share that, or you could talk about some older stuff if you want.
Yeah, I can talk about older stuff. Probably the newest stuff I'll keep under wraps for right now.
Yeah. And then now we got that out the way. The next thing I wanted to cover, at least the next thing on the agenda, was there was this. It's still One Piece, you know. Right now, that's kind of what's popping. One Piece and JJK, which will I don't know if we can talk about. First off, I've only watched one episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, just the first episode, and Twitter has spoiled a lot for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
Twitter is.
True.
Yeah, so
Sorry not to hear about it.
You mean
yeah,
X?
Twitter-
You mean X? X. That's
What is this
They-
Twitter you speak of?
quit trying to make
Yeah.
quit trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen. Everybody's gonna say
not gonna happen.
Jeez.
everybody's gonna say Twitter, and so I can't really talk much about JJK, but I feel like that's also getting popular right now. Bleach is also doing really well. The animation is amazing, but there was this talk online about during the Big Three era, right? I think we can go around, and maybe that would be the best. That's how I'll kind of frame this. Is how would you rank, and what was the Big Three to you during the 2000s to 2010? Start with Jay.
So, I mean, the big three were Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
In what order?
At first, it was at first Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and then, in my opinion, it was Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and then it was One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. So One Piece just kept on creeping up.
When did One Piece take the top spot for you?
So One Piece started taking the top around the Jaya arc after he snuck Bellamy in the face and knocked him out. You saw an imprint of his fist in his face. That was when I was like, this is too good. I mean, I already liked it a lot because of Crocodile and them putting their fists up and all of that. That was a scream moment for me. But Naruto had a lot of scream moments. Bleach had a lot of scream moments. When what's his name, Ichigo stopped that thing about to kill Rukia. I was like, ah! There were so many awesome scream moments in the 2000s. Oh man.
Yeah.
But
But,
One Piece
yeah.
just kept on having more and more, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, the other two just kept on not. So yeah, that's what it was to me. I
If,
really enjoyed.
Even though you ranked it that way, was One Piece always number one for you?
No, I always thought that at first I thought that One Piece was super cartoony, but I couldn't look away because I like cartoony stuff. And then I was I didn't even really like it a lot until Arlong.
Okay.
And then only with Arlong I was like, okay, this is cool. I can stick with it because I was about to give it up at that point. And then it just, I don't know, every arc just got better and better, and I was like, all right, well, Oda, you've proven yourself.
Just for saying that it wasn't always your number one. I'm sure
It
there's something in your contract. They've docked.
You got to record it.
They've docked some payment, right?
We got him, officer.
Got him.
No, I was a
Yeah,
huge
our show.
Naruto fan.
You've been demoted. You've been demoted, Jay. I gave you an out.
It's cool.
Yeah. What about Christina?
So it's about our personal top three, right? Not just
Yeah, just how you, however you want to frame it. But what was the during that period? How would you rank it, and what was it? It might not even be One Piece, Bleach, Naruto.
Is 2010s also okay, or is it just the early 2000s? I didn't quite
I think
catch
you
that.
can take it how you can take it how you want.
Okay.
When
Okay.
somebody
because then
when somebody says big three,
yeah, Naruto, Attack on Titan. You guys didn't mention
Okay.
Attack on Titan. That's crazy. I don't know I don't even know the third one. I'm horrible with watching anime. And look, my problem is that I can't really binge watch anime because I'm very, very dedicated to one anime, and then I'm dedicated to another anime. And the thing is, I started Naruto, for example, when I was 13 or something, I guess, so pretty young. And then Naruto ended. I don't know when it ended, 2015, 2016
Yeah,
maybe?
around there.
And then I started Attack on Titan, and Attack on Titan went on for 10 years until 2021 or so. And the anime is still going on, so I still have some time. And this has been my number one thing ever since. So, and I'm very, very dedicated to a series, which is not always a good thing. But it's like, oh, okay, it's all Attack on Titan for me. Until Grimheim happened, now it's all Grimheim for me. But back then it was all Attack on Titan for me.
Yeah,
So-
Grimheim can take number 3. Do you have do you have like
Perfect.
you have an Attack on Titan shrine? It's like if we turn your
maybe.
camera, we'll just have
Yeah.
As she looks off to the side.
You got a premium gear sitting over there.
Maybe two.
2 shrines. Okay. I
One
did
day I
think
meet the
Attack on
creator.
Titan. What'd you
I'm sure
say?
of that one day. I say one day I meet the creator and the creator of Vinland Saga. You saw him already, White.
Yeah, I saw
think we
that
saw
one. Yeah, I saw him. Vinland Saga is one I'm trying to get into as well. 'Cause everybody says it's great. I know Attack on Titan
is.
when the manga came out, everything was cool, but nobody was really talking about it until the anime. I think.
True.
Oh,
True.
And-
I mean, the anime
Men-
exploded. Like that was crazy.
Yeah,
20,
the intro, the whatever, and then the animation was really good. There's like very Spider-Man, giant zombie type. Or some people think of like the Attack on Titan things as like organic mecha or organic mecha zombies, which
Yeah.
makes sense to
But
me
that's
because they're
when we figured out it
controlled.
was human
They're still
inside.
controlled by somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, and I think it had probably one of the biggest meteoric rise. Like it was the most popular anime at the time so quickly. To
Yeah.
me. Yeah, and anime that season 1, which is honestly still my favorite season. I don't know about y'all, but season 1 I like very much. So okay, Attack on Titan, and then one day Grimheim. You know,
Yeah.
one day
Hopefully.
Grimheim. Yeah, one day
Maybe.
Grimheim. You know, you never know. You might have somebody having a Grimheim shrine already. You'd be the first. But you get more. Hopefully, we have more. We have more Christinas for each individual series within Saturday AM.
No.
Christina,
Okay.
Christina type.
The shrine would be a
Christina type
bloody
fan.
axe.
Yeah.
What?
I said the shrine would be a bloody axe. Axe. Like Gordon
Yep.
coming down
Floating
the leg.
heads.
Yes.
Halloween stuff,
Yes.
basically.
A pile of heads. Yeah.
You know what's going? I can see Grimheim. If Grimheim is like super popular, you can have like those people that cook and stuff. You can have like instead of a regular knife, or you have like the actual axe as merch.
Oh.
You know,
Okay.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
that'd be cool, man. Give an idea.
that'd be pretty tight.
Yeah.
What about you, Austin?
Yeah, growing up, definitely. I didn't even get into One Piece because the only way of consuming it for me was through 4Kids, so it wasn't happening. So it was definitely like Naruto, Bleach, and then for me, the third one was going to be Full Metal Alchemist. And to this day, I still think Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, and I guess a mix of both of the animes, like they're just masterpieces. I think just as a whole, Full Metal
Oh, so
Alchemist is a
you think the other one? I've never seen the other one. The other one's good too.
The other one, like, because it follows the manga but expands, like, more on what the manga was doing and kind of, like, spends more time with the characters. I think in Brotherhood, they're trying to get to the point where they stopped with the anime and, like, adapt what they were trying to do. So if you did, like, a mix of, like, the first half of the first anime and then Brotherhood, like, that's your perfect.
Yeah,
That's
I
your
think
perfect
Brotherhood
experience.
was more of a one-to-one to the manga, whereas
It was.
the first one was like there was a lot more material. I'm not sure if it went on hiatus or something, but they were just like, you know what,
They
we're
just
gonna
caught up
finish-
with the manga, so they
Yeah,
made up
so
their own
they-
ending.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
still really good though. To be honest with you, I like that one a lot more than the Brotherhood one. But I haven't
Really?
actually seen all of Brotherhood, so that's probably why. So
Because everybody always says watch. You don't need to watch it.
I want to watch all of Brotherhood, but I got to the point where the anime stopped, the first anime, and then like I don't know what happened, like something life wise like took me away from looking at it, and I just never got back into it. So
Well, anyway, I think Full Metal Alchemist as a whole is just a fucking masterpiece, so...
it's pretty cool.
That being said, if I had to rank the actual top three, the big three, it's definitely what it became was Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach for me as I grew
Yeah.
up,
'Cause
as
I
I got
think-
into One Piece.
There was because of the debate online was people forgetting that One Piece was not always number one. In fact, there were a lot of people who didn't watch One. This is even before the whole 1 million chapters. There were a lot of people who didn't like the art, or thought it was too corny, or blah blah blah. That they thought it was difficult to get into. So One Piece has in the top three, big three, for a lot of people, it was third, or not even in the list.
In Japan, that's like the only place it actually was popular because Dragon Ball just ended and it took over that spot. But everywhere in the world, like it didn't really get popular, especially because of 4Kids. I totally agree. Like that kind of slowed down the growth of One Piece. But I mean, yeah, it's insane.
I got a confession to make.
Okay.
The 4Kids One Piece is what got me into One Piece.
Dream it. Don't give it up, Raymond. Dream it.
Hey,
Don't give it
Thought
up.
you was sucking on that lollipop instead of smoking a cigarette, man. Yeah.
You know, I watched the 4Kids as well. Like, I mean, you know, I always thought that it was like very strange, but I couldn't not look at it. So I agree.
I watched the 4Kids version, and then after that I watched like all the way through the Alabasta arc because of 4Kids.
I never watched the 4Kids episode.
Yeah.
I have no idea what y'all even talk about.
The 4Kids. There's a YouTube. There's a bunch of YouTube videos. They have like the difference in like how many things the 4Kids changed and like you know the episodes that they had. But I agree. I only saw up to I think Logetown in the 4Kids because after that like I think Toonami took it off and then it didn't come back on TV for a long time. So I was like,
One thing
I remember.
You need to ask Fred about that because I know he was responsible for bringing the 4Kids version of Shaman King over.
If your spirit is strong,
Yeah,
you could be the one.
that thing was fire too, man.
yes.
But I don't know if he had anything to do with One Piece or not. We have to ask him about that.
I never saw anything 4Kids. Leave me out of it. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I mean, he said that what usually happens is like they sell things through like a package or something. Like, hey, well, you know, if you want like Shaman King, then you have to get, you know, One Piece and this and that as well.
Yeah.
And I think 4Kids just didn't know what they were getting, and so that's why there were so many
I did hear
changes.
the one thing that shocked me though, and I think they did this to match the speed of the manga to also make it easy for people. I'm sure One Piece fans love when people get into One Piece. I'm sure they hate the idea that, you know, it's daunting, but that's just the reality of it. So this was the first time I ever heard of One Pace.
I've heard of One Pace, yes.
What pace?
Yeah, and
Does
it's
everybody,
basically...
does everybody here know what One Pace is?
One Pace? PACE?
Yeah, PACE. So basically, there's some group of people who took all the One Piece episodes and chopped it up.
Do
you know?
They chopped it up to match the manga exactly. No filler. No. You know when somebody on One Piece is like they're singing that song and they're squaring off, and the square off is like maybe 20 seconds. In One Piece is 1 second or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's like, okay, so you know Dragon Ball
get behind
Kai?
that.
You know how Dragon Ball Kai just took off all of the fillers? That's basically what One Piece is for One Piece.
I wish they would do that with Naruto. I would buy boxes.
Yeah.
I would buy. They'd take my money if they made one that just had all the manga episodes in it without all the filler. I throw my money at them.
Yeah, I think this one is not just the manga. I think it's also like they cut down they trimmed the episode itself. You know how you could watch a One Piece episode and it could feel like it's supposed to be like you feel like you just dissolved just 10 minutes of content, but it was 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
Because
So
like,
it's like
the first half,
trim it. Yeah, they trim it to like just that 10 minutes, and
That's awesome.
that would be sweet.
Are they like very far with it? Because I watched that.
I don't know. I don't know where they. I don't know how to. I know it's somewhere online. There's a way to get it. I think it's because it's probably not legal. I think that you have to like download all the episodes, and they might be up to speed. I don't know. But one day I just saw One Piece trending, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And somebody and they explained it. They explained it to me. But and that's you know the perk of the internet. Sometimes you just ask, and there's always somebody there like. Actually, this.
Actually.
I hate you.
Exactly. See, Austin has you got the camera. He was that in the past life. You know?
Oh, I wish I could like adjust my glasses so that like it's all just like pure white.
The light, the
Yeah, exactly. All according to
Oh,
Keikaku.
that was yeah.
All according to Cake.
Yeah, it's one of those very anime things. The glasses adjustment, the nosebleeds, which make no sense to me. I don't understand that.
Those
But
are
they
kind of
just,
faded out a little bit, though. I feel like I don't see
What
that
is
as
it?
often. I feel like
Oh.
the nosebleed thing's kind of faded out. I don't see that
Yeah.
as often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a very, very, very.
I mean,
common
even
thing.
Oda stopped drawing Sanji doing it as much. So,
Oh.
I mean, I haven't seen him
Well,
do it.
you know,
in forever.
speaking of that, like I think the problem I had with the nosebleed in One Piece in particular, they made it like a plot point. Like because there was a time where like
In Fishman
Sanji
Island.
bled out his nose so much they literally had to go help my man. Like they had to go grab him and like, bring him
It was
back.
a-
Like and he was really in trouble.
Yeah,
You know,
he had to get a
like-
blood transfusion.
Like
yes.
it wasn't even
That
a
was-
gag. It was like a plot line.
Yeah, Christine, you're gonna say something?
No, I was just laughing at everything because
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
actually, sorry, but actually, when you were, what was the name again? One Pace.
Yeah, One Piece.
I was thinking about something very not safe for worky that I've seen on Twitter, and it's a very not safe for work version of One Piece. And
Oh, really?
All right.
yeah, I've seen that.
How about one piece of this?
Yeah,
That's some very
another word
like.
starting with a P. So yeah, it's
Oh no.
got you.
interesting.
It's too easy.
Kind of
Yeah.
like Game
No
of Thrones,
imagination in that
Game of
one.
Bones. They be doing
Yeah.
a lot of those. They be
So,
doing
yeah.
a lot of
Attack on
those.
Titan, Attack on Titties.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
It will
Don't
be
give
now.
them
It
ideas,
is.
man.
If it
You're
is,
giving them
that'd be
ideas,
hilarious.
Jay.
It will be
Giving them
now.
That would be
ideas.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So one of the things that again before everybody does their Shark Tank pitch. Also, wait, the Raymond, did you rank it? Did you Naruto, One Piece?
Oh, no, but I'll keep it quick. Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. My personal big three: Naruto. Came later in life, but Hunter. That was my favorite.
That is
And then I would agree with Austin with Full Metal Alchemist. That was masterpiece. Chef's
Okay.
kiss on that.
I think Full Metal is one of them. Like it's also one of them that I think is one of the best gateway for like anime gateway type shit. If I was getting someone into it, Death Note, Full Metal, Attack on Titan maybe, and if you're a weird person, Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
They like weird
Howdy.
stuff.
Howdy, that's me.
Yeah, some people like Cowboy Bebop for that, but I'm starting to get some overrated vibes. I enjoyed it, but I'm starting to get some over. Like I didn't like that much.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean now that Raymond brings it up, like I don't even want to get into this, but I would bring up like Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho and stuff like that,
Okay.
but I don't want to get into that right now.
Okay.
Yu Hakusho
Maybe
is pretty
we'll
awesome.
leave that for we'll revisit all this talks for like future episodes.
Yes.
And maybe next time we'll talk about the best gateway for anime and manga if you're trying to get like a fan into that. So you guys stay tuned for that. And if you're wondering about my rank, as usual, the ranking is still Naruto, One Piece, Bleach. I think that's universal, general top three. My personal top three: Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. But One Piece was much lower, but it came up, and that's just if I was gonna rank it. I don't know if those three are my favorite in general, but if I was ranking it, that's the way I do it. And then to close before we do our Shark Tank pitch. We just want to touch on a little bit about some harassment nonsense that we get every now and then. I would like to stress though that the majority of the feedback that we get from people is not this. It's mostly positive. Then you guys support, you guys show love. But there is a relentless group, relentless few that keep going. I would say about like 5%, maybe less. The same thing happened, not exactly the same group, but there is some overlap. Same thing happened when the Clock Striker tweet went viral, and people, they just won't stop. And sometimes I have my theories on why this stuff happens, but first, I would just like to get your Austin and Christina especially to get your general experience and views on the recent uh, set of things that happened harassment wise, and then just your thoughts on the general dynamic and mindset of these people, and kind of just share your experiences with what happened.
All right. Yeah, I can speak first, and I'll hand it off
Yeah.
to you, Christina. Yeah, I definitely there's a couple things have been said, but I guess the two major ones definitely talking about ownership of the company. And I've talked about this on our Instagram live. Like, Jay, you created Hammer, right?
I did.
White, you created Apple Black and stuff like that. Christina, you created Grimheim, and then Raymond, you're beautiful. Um, but no, for real, like the thing that we talk about in the company is like creators own their IP 100%. And the challenge of this certain IP that we talked about with Metal Souls, the artist, did not create it. He didn't even write the first chapter or two. And how I know this wasn't from Fred or anybody else in the company. It was on May 27th, 2022 at 5:14 p.m. EST, to be correct. This creator had wanted to meet with me, and he wanted to talk about eventually writing for Metal Souls. So he hadn't written for it. He didn't create the concept, but he did come to me and ask me how I could help him to eventually write it, which is admirable. But at the time, he didn't create all of it. So if you wanted to argue, maybe he owns 70, 80, 90% of what Metal Souls is, you're welcome to argue that. But I wouldn't say that he owns 100% of it. And
Yeah.
moving on to that, I would
And
say the second point.
the title as well. That was
Yeah,
Fred that
that
came
was
up
Fred.
with the title of it. Because
Correct.
I know they did the Summer of Manga thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I'm guessing Fred titled that because it was the same name, right? So
Yeah.
Fred titled that, and even then, according to Fred, I believe it was basically just Pacific Rim, so it was like vastly different from what ended up running in the magazine proper for however long.
Yeah.
It did. But okay.
Yeah. And Jay, you said you even were there for part of the meeting for that as well.
Yeah, I remember when he was talking about color schemes, Fred, and he was saying there's never been, a gold and I think gold and black robot or something like those color schemes. Because I remember thinking, oh, the Saints, like, so. I mean, I don't know. Like, some people just like causing, drama. And here
For
we go.
sure.
Okay.
And then the second point that was brought up was about our Josei magazine brunch, and one of the creators inside there saying that Stan was a quote unquote kill the gays type of person. And speaking with Stan, I've spoken to him personally, and he has never said or had those opinions on the LGBTQ community. He has always been for freedom and loving one another. And he said he was very hurt that those accusations came to him. So I've spoken to him clearly, and if there was anybody like that in the company, I don't think that they would be wanting to work with us anyway.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. So and Christina, you've worked with him as well, right? So
I mean, we were or are in the same magazine. Our series are in Brunch. So the thing is, when I was in the meetings, never once has this been a topic or anything that was brought to our attention, like, oh, we have problems in Brunch regarding, our members being LGBTQ, or we have someone who's anti-LGBTQ. Never been an issue. And in fact, the thing is, the former editor for Grimheim, she was the same editor for Zephyr. And when she left the magazine, we still regularly talk and have some chats because I consider her a friend of mine. So, and when we talk, she never brought up any concerns regarding that for brunch. She was never like, oh, I left brunch because of this or that. She had very reasonable reasons to go. She was, life happened. I guess this is how you can kind of say it. Like, it didn't have anything to do with any issues regarding what was Stan accused of. So I don't even know how this happened. And, the whole thing with these comments and these accusations is that my issue is that there have been many things said that were just, either lies or just taken out of context. And then in my opinion, a narrative was pushed to make us the absolute bad guys of this whole situation. And I'm like, if you're completely honest and you read these messages on Twitter, on YouTube, and you just think for a little moment, you can so clearly see what is going on. You can so clearly see the agenda that these people have. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. I get this. And I know how people came to me with a pretty clear intention. What they asked me certain things, or they talked to me a certain way where I was like, I know what you want from me right now to get to your side and to agree with you. So you can most likely be like, okay, this artist agrees with me. So it's not just me, it's actually this artist. And I mean, there's so many things to say about this, and I'm pretty sure we will address it even more in the future and properly in the future. But
and they want a screenshot, because I remember when this happened, right? It's happened many times in our history, and I remember when the most recent one happened on Twitter, and there's posting a bunch of screenshots, and I just remember looking at it and going, if anybody like calmly goes through everything here, there really isn't anything here, right? You didn't like your experience working here. That's okay. That's fine, right? The accusation on Stan, there was no proof for that. It was just a straight up fabrication or just blunt lie, because maybe whoever said it just didn't like Stan, right? They just didn't like Stan, maybe because Stan was, even though he supported the mission of everything, maybe parts of his life are conservative, and they just didn't like that aspect of it. And so that's where that could have stemmed from. But clearly Stan doesn't hold any of those views. If not, like you said, why would you even be with us?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And
so go ahead.
No, I was saying, like that.
Okay. Okay, Austin. you want this match? You want this wrestling match?
We're going right now.
We're going right now. So that, and then the Metal Souls thing, where clearly, like you said, you're welcome to argue what percentage it is, but 100% clearly, if you didn't come up with a name, you didn't write the early chapters at all, or very little of it. There was stuff of you, even screenshots of our own, even proving that, and meetings and all the stuff, right? Got that, and then the stuff of Jackie, who has also been a supporter of everything we're doing, again because she has some conservative things, but a part of what Saturday AM's mission is, having the fact that we can have people like that and support the mission and the progressive view, because we're a progressive company, and support the progressive views of everything that we're doing is testament to what we stand for. And so, trying to come at Raymond, try to come at Morgan for a dumb reason, for a very dumb reason, right? And also, even Sobi is kind of edited and followed and kind of managed to a degree by Fred, who is a black man who is a million years old, who's definitely from that era, So anyways, it will just, if you just go slowly and you actually think, like Christina said, one by one, and then especially knowing what we know, because then there's some things that are just blatant lies, and where it's like, oh, I also heard this from a member on the board, but the member on the board is not this person, but I know all the members on the board, and I know it's not me. I know it's not Raymond.
It's not that many of us to choose from.
You know what I mean?
We're
I
looking at
know
three
it's not.
out of
It's
four right
not.
now.
I know it's not. It's not Fred. So it's like, who would? Unless either you don't know the members of the board, which prove the point that you're saying stuff that you don't know, or you're lying about who the members are, or like there's a lot of stuff, and take your pick. None of it works. So, and that's why I use the term fabrications, exaggerations, taken out of context, lies, you name it. But like you said, it's kind of like an agenda thing. I think anybody, especially us who know what happened, if you go down, like I remember when it was happening, I was like, I remember it being done. I was like, it's actually not even a big, like what you're trying to make a cake out of sand. Like there's nothing really here. You know what I mean?
That is a problem. Exactly, that is a problem. And they do this so many times. And sometimes I'm like, what you have accused other people of, or like you said, White, when Jackie was actually attacked, and that was an attack, I don't care, but this was an attack. I was like, what exactly, like, it's none of anyone's business if she's a conservative or if she's whatever. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And to accuse her to be homophobic and transphobic and racist because she's a conservative, you're actually, in my opinion, doing more damage than you're trying to prevent, because the real people who are racist and sexist and whatever, you need to call them out, not someone who has been always like a very sweet person, very supportive.
Yes.
Like when I talk with Jackie, she has never been, I can't even imagine her being sexist or racist. I think she can't be, to be honest.
Jackie's a very sad person. Jackie's
And
too
so
sweet of a
maybe
person.
I wish those people, I wish those people would just put like 5% of the effort they put into attacking us into their own projects, because I think they would improve greatly and they would be at a better place, in my opinion. So please get a life, or please do anything that is more productive, and don't feel special because you try to take other people down. That's very nasty. It's a very, very nasty mindset.
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where they were throwing everything they could possibly think of and to find what would stick, I guess. Yeah. And it's everybody's kind of forgotten it to a degree. At this point, we're the ones kind of bringing, some people are going to be listening to this and not knowing what the hell we're talking about. So despite all your sand, like you're looking for what sticks, and nothing sticks, because when you think about it, none of it's. Anyways, Jay, Raymond,
I wanted to say something to Christina's point, because there is a lot of energy that goes into doing all these different things, like colluding with different people online, coming up with lies, I always kind of picture people with a little conspiracy theory board trying to link the dots with how to lie on, Saturday and different creators, things like that. And it's like all that stuff takes time and energy. And if it was possible to do a poll of how many people of these people were art creators trying to get with Saturday AM, the numbers would be astounding as far as them trying to be, they were trying to be creators. But if they were to take that energy and literally put it into really anything else, their comic, story, ideas, getting better at drawing, whatever it may be, they, one day they might be able to prove us wrong, because me and Fred always said the same thing. The best way to show Saturday, if you apply for summer manga, or you're one of our creators at one point and it got to a point where we no longer work together and you're bitter about it, instead of going online and blasting all these different things about Saturday AM, the best way to win, to shut us up, is to come back and have success. If you were to go out there, get on the XYZ platform, webcomic portal, and become the #1 ranked comic on that platform for 2 months in a row, guess what? You shut us up. You prove that we were wrong about your series, because apparently you have a fan base now. And, and that's kind of my point, going back to Christina, is that, like, let's, instead of taking all that energy and putting it into this, put it into something productive so that you can ultimately win, because that's what we want people to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've tried to elevate creators, and we've successfully done that in many cases, and which we're very proud of. Some people have gotten books being published, where being published anywhere else would have been not impossible, but a much more daunting task. And I think we're all proud they were able to play the role in assisting in other people's talents. Before I say something else, Jay.
Saturday AM is a dream come true in terms of what I always envisioned a company like Shonen Jump that is for the West could be. And it's really sad to see a lot of people that are deep down excited about this idea not wanting us to be the ones running it, if that makes sense. Maybe I worded that wrong. But I mean, it's really sad to see the attacks and the attitude towards everything that we do that is positive, that is actually helped a lot of artists, get deals. I mean, some of the artists that actually attacked us will never ever have their character in a video game again, like they did just from being with Saturday AM. So, I mean, had they, exactly like what you guys were saying, I mean, had they just focused more on their work, their art style, their ideas, and all of that, they could just move up in the ranks. And I know that Raymond and White and I have been talking about something to release in the future to maybe help artists and know exactly like what the pathway would be. So we'll talk about that in the future. But
Yeah,
all I can say is that it's it's really sad to see a lot of people harass us when it's not called for. I mean, nothing that we've done deserves the level of vitriol that is coming towards us. So, I mean, I would hope that people just, sit back or stand back or, just like look at exactly what's going on, realize, hey, what I'm doing is actually very immature, actually not at all becoming of what I want to be in the future, and, then hopefully change or apologize and change or whatever. I would hope that would be the case, but I mean, more than likely we'll have comments saying F you,
I guess,
or whatever.
Thankfully, like I said, this is like it's not even just a minority; it's like a super duper minority.
Yeah, it's very small.
It's like
it's
a
very
super small. Like I would have been fine just living my like. I do not care. Y'all, you guys know. So for this. And it's just seeing how hard how obsessed, honestly, they are with the whole thing. It's kind of been kind of weird, but I'm sure one day they'll have to answer to that and all the jargon they're talking about. There's more, obviously, that we could talk about regarding that, and then we will take a deeper dive into all of that in the future, and maybe I'll even have all the points clear because there's like so many things that they said that's just lies. Other screenshots where somebody said that they'll contact me to talk to Fred about something. I was like, first off, nobody contacted me, but secondly, like, what does that even mean? Who are you? And then he's strategically leaving all these people's names out, but he's pointing an actual. How convenient, right? Wonder why. Saves with your chest. Keep that same
publisher,
energy, bro.
and then you just post a foot.
That same energy, bro.
No way I can figure that one out.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's that'll be another video. That'll be another episode.
Yeah,
but White, myself, and Jay, we're putting together. We're going to call them for now. It's placeholders, Saturday Pathways, and it basically it's going to be a way that people a standard that Saturday is going to have. And it's gonna basically be a kind of a rule book for as an artist trying to get with Saturday and that kind of thing. And what's cool about it, what I think it will do, and I can say this as the old guy in the room, but if you follow these pathways, not only does it increase your chances of being engaged with Saturday AM, but it also, I believe, and the guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it crafts in you a sense of the professionalism that you'll need to not only succeed with Saturday AM, but with any endeavor, because to what Jay said, listen, the comic industry is way smaller than you think. You turn around and you burn your bridge with someone like us, like a Saturday AM, and you don't go out graciously and that kind of thing. Guess what? We're buddies with we may be buddies with Kodansha. You saw the pictures on Instagram with Fred and
Yen Press,
the gentleman from Kodansha. So it's like, so my whole point is that the comic entry is very small, and it's not good look for anybody to burn bridges in that way. Granted, if you don't like something, that's fine, but to go out of your way and try to, to attack their people and blast them on social media, that stuff will all 100% come back to haunt you if you stay in this industry long enough.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, I had some things in my head that I thought were crucial, like very clear things that's like, oh, this is a blatant lie. But like, you know what? We'll save that for the other thing. Just to piggyback on what Raymond said, there'll be like a clear path so that anybody coming into the Saturday AM sphere, you know what to expect, at least a clear way. Usually we're clear anyways, but this would be very gung-ho and easy to grasp. Easy understanding of how all of this would break down. Austin just became Batman for a second. And so to close all of this, just have a little more fun again. Go back to the fun stuff, and everybody kind of talk about just what you got going on, right? That's how we'll close, and you guys can talk about your series and briefly sell it to Mark Cuban, right? And we would conclude episode 2.
All right.
Starting with
Cool.
Christina, you want to go?
Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about my series, right? Like, give a little bit of insight about.
Why should people check it out? And what's cool about it? What's Grimheim? What's grim about it?
You should follow it first and foremost because it has a muscle mummy as the protagonist. I learned that term on Twitter, so it's
Muscle
valid.
Mummy.
That's
Muscle
the
mummy,
only
yes,
place
yes.
you can
Muscle
learn
mummy.
that. Muscle mummy. I've never heard that before, but I've never heard it before, but I know exactly what it is.
The thing is, if you have a muscular female character like I do, Twitter is your way to go because Twitter has so many people thirsting for muscular women. It's crazy. But Grimheim is a dark medieval fantasy series, kind of like if Joan of Arc would meet Berserk. I kind of like that pitch. Got it from White. And so basically, yeah, I think you said it once. You said it like it's Joan of Arc meets Berserk. And I was like, okay, I'll go with that. Because I was struggling actually, because I was like, I don't know what really is Grimheim. It's kind of like Berserk, but not really.
I feel like I heard that from somebody else.
Maybe it was Fred.
Maybe it was Fred. Because Fred will be watching this right now and be like, ah!
I said that.
That's my idea.
Meeting is cancelled. Then I'm going to be cancelled.
I'm gonna be like, I own it, Fred. I own it 100%. I own it 100%, Fred.
Don't give him
tweet it
ideas.
out.
Don't give
Just so
him
everybody
ideas.
knows I own
He's
this.
watching.
Yeah, Christina, go on.
No, but it's a dark fantasy series set in, kind of medieval Germany. Something I hope. What I'm trying to do with Grimheim to have it stand out is the setting, because usually dark fantasy settings tend to be like in medieval England. I guess it's very like King Arthur, Legend of King Arthur focused, and with Grimheim I try to be like specifically German. So you will find a lot of German cultural influences and references, especially considering the witch hunt trial time, whatever, because that's a very dark topic. German history is pretty dark. We have a lot of, we're not the best country, I guess, but we have some very interesting periods of time, I guess. And so it kind of fits into this whole dark fantasy vibe I want to have. And also the witch hunts can be viewed, I guess, from a like female perspective and from this whole feminism thing I have going on with Grimheim, which is also a pretty important thing, that I have a dark fantasy series, but it focuses on a female character, and I really want to dive deep into her perspective and how she views the world and how the world views her, and how she has to fight not just against the literal devil, but also against humans who see her as a bigger threat than the devil. And I have to admit, this whole bullshit going on that we have right now with the harassment is really giving me some good inspiration for all of this. So there's something positive going on, I guess. But yeah, in general, it's a dark fantasy setting with a female perspective. and I hope this will make it stand out from the rest, like Berserk or The Witcher, Castlevania, which usually has like male protagonists and this male view on the world. That's also why it's in Brunch, because Brunch is a Josei LGBTQ mag, and it fits in perfectly. So yeah.
I have a again. I think I'll message you separately about it, about some things that I think would increase the chances of. We'll talk about it. But I'm excited for Grimheim. You guys go check out Grimheim. The art's great. The blood is great if you like it. The backgrounds are great. Trust me, they're all top tier stuff.
Aww.
How long does it take you to all those backgrounds and stuff? How long does it take too long?
It depends actually on the background. I'm usually faster when it comes to like landscape, forest type of stuff. That's usually pretty quick. But when it comes to cities or houses, even that can take some days, couple of days.
Wow.
Because I guess, that's why I'm so slow. I need to speed up, I guess. But
okay.
This is the path I chose, so yeah.
Yeah, you guys check it out. Jay?
Yes, so my series is called Hammer. It is about this little kid who talks to himself. He gets sucked into his father's journal, and he's trying to find a way out while battling all the dangers around him, turning any part of his body, usually his fists, into hammers. He's fighting monsters, and he's going around, going on a long, epic adventure to try to find his, parents. I think everybody that likes adventure stories, like One Piece or Bone or Adventure Time, Dragon Ball Z, any of those types of stories, I think that you would resonate with Hammer, or you will find something about Hammer that you really enjoy. There are currently 3 volumes out. The 4th one comes out, like I said earlier, in November. I'm currently working on the 5th one, and I cannot wait to just get to all of the awesome arcs that are in my head right now for all of you to see. But yeah, I think everybody who wants to, go on a new awesome adventure, Hammer is definitely something to pick up for sure.
Awesome. Is it like they can turn limbs into farming tools, right?
Yes. So if you want me to go a little bit more into it, so Stud has the ability to turn any part of his body into a hammer, but the way the world works, there was an event that happened centuries ago that kind of mutated everything on the planet. So a lot of the humans got abilities. Some of them mutated with animals, and now they have animal powers. Some of them mutated with tools, and now they have tool powers. Some of them mutated with other things, and we'll get to that in the future. But basically, Stud can turn his hands into hammers and also nails. His fingers, he has fingernails. He throws them. So those are pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
You got to stay away from those long ancient events, man. They be transforming people every time.
Yeah, man.
Every time. You got to stay away from
ancient tones, man.
Raymond.
Well, mine will be quick because Bullet Eater is under construction right now. But the gist of it that won't change is that it's about a character named Asao, and he hates bullying. So, but he goes to a school where bullies are everywhere, and not only are they everywhere, but they also have superpowers. So, he's
old ancient events.
Beats bullies.
Old ancient events too.
Who?
Like
was there an old
powers.
ancient event?
There's an old ancient event. Gave him powers?
Sure. Yeah. It was like some kind of mystic cloud that came down or something. I don't know.
Bet.
But somehow all these students have abilities that ain't normal. So if I had to describe it, if I had to give it a pitch, I would say it's I don't want to steal whites, but it's kind of like if Harry Potter met Street Fighter. That's probably the best way I can put it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harry Potter meets Street Fighter. But to get a good taste of it, to really get to see Asao, because he's going to be in annual, I guess it's annual 2024? 25.
24.
I was mixed the year up.
Yeah,
We already came out.
Is it the one that's coming out
24.
next?
2024.
Yeah, whichever one's coming out next.
Yeah,
there's a 20-page one-shot in there, and it'll give you a really good idea of where I'm going with the story. and really introduce you to Asao. And you'll also see him inside of Saturday Wars, which is coming too. So that's going to be our crossover event with all of our Saturday M characters.
Can't wait.
You know, basically our version of what do you call it?
Avengers Endgame.
Infinity War, you know, Crisis on all crossover, super crossover event.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So you know, with me, you know, Harry Potter Bleach for Apple Black. You can use that. That's the most common one. I've seen some maybe the Gray Man Bleach, but it follows Sano in this world of sorcerers. Yes, ancient events. That's how you got it. Yes, that's how you got it. Same thing. And in this world of sorcerers, and he is prophesied to be the savior, but he has visions that point to him being quite the opposite, pretty much the end of the world. And he's blessed with this arm of a god, they say. And so there's a lot of mystery within it, but then there's a lot of shonen energy, hype, action to go along with it. A lot of fun moments, a lot of contemporary approaches to doing certain things while still being influenced by, you know, the big three that we mentioned earlier, and then some. I'm a big Gintama fan, and I'm a big fan to humor and adventure and plot twists and mind-bending type stuff, and even Western content like the first season of Westworld. Don't watch any other season after that. It is not as good as the first season, let me put it like that. But that's Apple Black, so hopefully you guys go check out Apple Black, check out Bullet Eater, check out Hammer, check out Grimheim, check out Batman.
Austin's face.
Hi, how's it going? I just exist here.
Austin is a great editor, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
he definitely has a lot of
And-
awesome
and-
ideas.
And singer.
He's really
And
cool,
singer. Don't
so.
forget.
Thank
Yep,
you. Thank you.
And he's working on something in the future. So
He's working on
We'll talk
something,
about that at some
and
point.
so there will be some awesome spicy sauce for you guys in the future. Just stay tuned. He just needed
Austin
he
spicy
needed the right partner to dance with, and hopefully you guys will enjoy what we dance with. So overall, just kind of make sure you follow this channel, you follow Saturday AM on everything, you follow the books, merchandise, support us any ways you can. And for those who already do so, big thanks from everybody here on behalf of the whole team. I'm sure we're all grateful, and we're on to bigger and better things. That's the plan. One day we'll get that anime. One day we'll get that anime.
One day.
One day. But outside of that, does anybody have anything else to say? If not, we're out.
I just want to say thank you again for everybody that's watching this. Please, if you haven't already gotten your ticket for Saturday Con, please get one. VIP package is awesome. Also, get some shirts, Atsuko shirts. We got Clock Striker merchandise and Apple Black merchandise, and a lot more coming. So, it's going to be very, very cool. But that's all I got to say.
Christina, Austin, Raymond, if not, we're good here. Peace.